Good morning, friends. You ready to sing with me? The sun is shining. Good morning, and we're all smiling. Good morning to everyone. Hooray, hooray! Have a good day. Great. Let's do some twinkle, twinkle. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Excellent. How about some ABCs? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? Great. So, today's video is going to be nice and short. It's just going to kind of be a review of what we've talked about this week and what we're going to be doing next week, which is going to be really fun. And I wanted to let you know in advance, so if you wanted to gather the materials that we need for Monday, you'd have the opportunity. So what we talked about this week is ways that we can reduce food waste. That was a really big one, right? And some of the ways that we talked about reducing food waste are using every part of the food that we get, eating our leftovers, making sure we use them, freezing fruit and vegetables that might not be at their peak so that we can use them for smoothies and baking and whatever else you would like to put them in, vegetable stock. We talked about composting, which is a big one. And yeah, just the benefits with that, it reduces the amount of resources that are needed for food production, and it makes sure that everyone is able to get the food that they need. Because when we waste food, it means that other people might not have the opportunity to have eaten that. So we want to try and use what we have, right? We also talked about rhyme this week. What a rhyme is, where it has the same final sound in a word, but you just change the first letter or the first couple of letters, like can, pan, ran, things like that. And we read a story and picked out the rhymes. So for next week, what I want you to do is gather some scrap paper, preferably something like construction paper, but regular old computer paper will work. Like this kind of paper, legal pad, will also work just fine. So part of what we're going to be doing next week is making our own recycled paper. This is really fun. We usually do this in the classroom every year. So the materials that we're going to need, if you want to follow along, because it's going to be all of next week. We're going to spend the whole next week doing this. We're going to need, the first thing is scraps of paper. So when you have your scraps of paper, whatever your parents say it's okay to use, we're going to rip them up into little squares. I'm going to piece something like this. And we're going to rip them up into little squares, little rectangles, smallish pieces, like this. And collect them, as many as you can. We're also going to need, for Monday, a small basin, like a small tub that you can put some water in. Something about that deep, maybe. depending on the amount of paper that you have, how big you want to make it, how much you want to use. So we're gonna need paper squares. It can be any color, it can be a mix of colors, however you want to do it, and a basin that we can put some water in throughout the week, and we'll go over this on Monday too. Some other things that we're gonna need are, you can definitely mash it up with your hands when we get to that point, but having like manual egg beaters, you can use other kind of cooking utensils to kind of agitate up the paper. Let's see what else. Ooh, a window screen or something similar that is not currently in a window that you can lay flat, because that's what we're going to spread out our paper on to dry. So those are some of the things that we're going to need. We'll go into more detail on it next week. It's a really exciting, really fun project. And we'll talk about the paper recycling process in more detail. I've got a couple of videos that we usually would show in class of how it works. It's really, really cool. And we're gonna try and make our own paper that we can then use for artwork and writing and all sorts of different stuff. So I am gonna read you guys a story. Olivia. I love this book. And I know we've read it before, but it's one of my favorites. This is by Ian Falconer. Take the cover off. And as you know, full of drawings by my daughter. Okay. This is Olivia. She is good at lots of things. And her book says 40 very loud songs. She is very good at wearing people out. She even wears herself out. Olivia has a little brother named Ian. He's always copying. Sometimes Ian just won't leave her alone, so Olivia has to be firm. Olivia lives with her mother, her father, her brother, her dog Perry, and Edwin the cat. In the morning after she gets up and moves the cat, and brushes her teeth and combs her ears and moves the cat, Olivia gets dressed. She has to try on everything. On sunny days, Olivia likes to go to the beach. She feels it's important to come prepared. Last summer, when Olivia was little, her mother showed her how to make sandcastles. She got pretty good. Sometimes Olivia likes to bask in the sun. When her mother sees that she's had enough, they go home. Every day, Olivia is supposed to take a nap. It's time for your you-know-what, her mother says. Of course, Olivia is not at all sleepy. On rainy days, Olivia likes to go to the museum. She heads straight for her favorite picture. Olivia looks at it for a long time. What could she be thinking? But there's one painting that Olivia just doesn't get. I could do that in about 5 minutes, she says to her mother. As soon as she gets home, she gives it a try. Time out. After a nice bath and a nice dinner, it's time for bed. Of course, Olivia is not at all sleepy. Only 5 books tonight, Mommy, she says. No, Olivia, just 1. How about 4? 2? 3? Oh, all right, 3, but that's it. When they finished reading, Olivia's mother gives her a kiss and says, "You know, you really wear me out, but I love you anyway." And Olivia gives her a kiss back and says, "I love you anyway, too." The end. see you back here for our next chapter of Harry Potter. And otherwise, have a wonderful weekend.